Let's run that back too. Real take. Here we go. In 3, 2. And welcome back to the Creatively Connected podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rippey, and today we're going to be discussing the new aged rat race. And you may be sitting there wondering, what the hell are you talking about? Or you might also be sitting there thinking, yes, that's me. That's what I'm in. I'm chasing a creative passion. I'm trying to do videography. I'm putting out content religiously on social media, and nothing's converting. And if it is converting, it's not much, and it's not anything that can be sustainable as a full-time job. That is what I mean by the new age rat race. We, become creators, we become videographers, photographers, musicians, whatever it is you do. We become those things to kind of escape and to go our own route and do our own thing, right? But then we oftentimes find ourselves in a cycle that is very similar to the 9-to-5 rat race that many people reference when they speak of that. And if you don't know what I mean by the rat race at all, generally when people refer to the rat race, they're talking about, that stage when you get out of high school or you get out of college and you go off and you get a job, a normal job, quote unquote. You go work for someone else and you stay in that loop and you work until you're 65, 70 years old, and hopefully by then you've saved enough money to retire and then enjoy the life of freedom and be able to set sail and go to the Caribbean and travel the world. And you just are out of energy by then, and that's probably not going to be the case. And that's not, if you're a creative, that's not the route that you want to take, and that's why you're pursuing something differently, whether you admit it or you know it or not. That is kind of what drives most of us, at least myself. Maybe I'm just projecting and speaking for myself, but I think a lot of you can relate to that. And you don't want to go that route, so you choose a different path. But then when you choose that different path and you start being a creative, then you kind of run into a wall there. And if you're anything like me, after a little bit of time in it, you're like, damn, am I in the new age rat race? Like, I feel like I'm just running in circles. How am I going to turn this into a full-time thing? There's no consistency in it. Well, if you're in any of those spots right now listening today, then stick around for this short episode, because hopefully I can break it down and clear some things up for you and kind of give you some pointers on how maybe if you are stuck in that, you can kind of get out of that rat race, get off that hamster wheel and start creating for you, start building sustainability, get more clients coming in, the whole nine. So I'll start with saying that there is a false promise to freelancers, and that is freedom. So many of us, and myself included, when we're first starting, we just expect to make that transition and then the freedom just come to us, and we don't have to grind hard, we don't have to work long days, long nights. No, there's going to be months and years worth of just brutal hours that absolutely suck. I mean, absolutely suck, and that no one's even going to see them. They're going to be dark. There's going to be lots of late nights, early mornings, where you're sitting by yourself trying to build out what it is that you're creating, right? Whether it's a freelance business, you pick up a camera and you want to do photography. Excuse me. You pick up a camera and you want to do photography or do videography or start creating content and posting it online and get brand deals. No matter what stage you're in, if you're just starting out, it's going to suck. There's going to be times where it gets so lonely, so confusing, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's really when you have to push the most and get through that time. But you got to realize that time has to happen, and you're not going to jump in and start, working 2 hours a day and 3 days a week and being off the rest of the time traveling to, Brazil. Like that's not what freelancing is. If you're fortunate enough to get opportunities like that early on, then consider yourself a chosen one. But that is not how the reality of it is. You have to go through the grueling seasons. You have to go through the hard times and those times when you're really building that foundation for your business, for your creativity, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. But I think that we all just get sold on the dream of freedom and the false promise of freedom when we start out, that it's going to be so much different than your 9-to-5, and it will be, but it's not meaning that like you just go on vacation instantly and you're just free all the time. No, you're going to have to stick through those grueling times and those really slow and ugly seasons. Next point is you left the office and you left the office because you were burnt out on it, but you took the burnout with you, right? You're grinding hours and hours on end. Maybe you're in year 1 or 2 right now, and you're just like I've been doing what you're saying, Rippy. I've been putting in the hours. I've locked in. I feel like I've been marketing myself, trying to build this up, and nothing is there. And now you're burnt out. And now you're in a new age rat race, and you're editing for 10 to 12 hours. You're constantly doing revisions for clients, and clients' demands are growing more and more. And it just seems like there's no off switch. And now you're feeling burnt out and wondering how you're going to stay afloat during this, and then much less maintain clients while you're burning out and build more and more, because we all know the bills got to get paid. You got to have money coming in. And man, that can really lead to burnout. So my one piece of advice around burnout is find a middle ground. And it's cliche and not way easier said than done, but try not to work yourself into the ground. I did that for years and still do it, and probably will do it this week, truth be told. Like, don't work yourself so sick that you just get tired and start hating what it is that your gift is. Like, if you're gifted in something and you just do it nonstop every single day, all day, and you never take the time to rest and step away, you're going to burn out, and you're going to begin to hate what it is you're passionate about the most. And that's honestly the worst feeling. I've been there. Thankfully, I got over that hump, but it is not a good feeling to hate what it is that God gave you, the chosen gift that God gave you. It's terrible to hate that and kind of resent it at times, but burnout will lead you to that. And hopefully that you are not there right now. If you are there right now, keep persevering, take some time off, go book a trip if you need to, go touch some grass, whatever it is you got to do to reset and get your mind back right. That's the most important. But you brought the burnout with you whenever you switched over, and you're not crazy for doing that. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us, and you're in a stage right now, you're probably hustling like an employee and not a business owner. You're kind of still in that mindset of like, I got to work long hours. I got to clock in at least 8 hours a day and maybe do overtime and undersell myself and do way more, but get paid way less than what I actually deserve. And that's just the unfortunate reality of most employees, right? You don't really get to pick your salary unless you're just a fortunate one in a special role in the workforce as an employee. So try to switch that mindset if you can. Try to go from the mindset of being an employee to being a business owner to being a creative, and realize that it's two completely different worlds, and they don't have to intertwine. The terminology, the way you move, the way you interact with people, the way you price yourself, none of it has to be anything like the real workforce, the real 9 to 5. I call it the real. I mean, what we do is real too, but you don't have to try to intertwine the two. I struggle with that going from college and knowing like my parents working 9 to 5 lives, or 9 to 5 jobs all their lives, and watching that and watching how hard they hustled. Like, I just had that ingrained in me to where I felt like I had to do that when I started doing videography, and I was working sickening hours, staying up late, waking up early, not eating, not taking care of my body right, and just literally working any possible waking hour that I could, and it just led to intense burnout. It led to me that's what led to me resenting, what my gift was, and I thought I was just doing something, positive by just grinding as hard and long as I possibly could, but it just led me to a burnt out state. So take my advice on it, and try to break free from that. I was about to say hustler's mentality, but that employee mentality. And a good way to break that loop and reclaim back your time would be time blocking. Get really strict on your calendar. Get really strict on, your daily schedule, how you're mapping out, your content shoots, what days are for admin work in your business, what days are for creative work, batch recording, anything that you can, automating and delegating where you see fit and where you can, find the delegation to happen, whether that's you bring on an editor to your team, or you bring on another shooter, or you bring on a finance person to handle all your finances and, paperwork and everything like that. Delegate where you can right now. If you're early in it, you probably can't afford to delegate. And if you're in that spot, that's okay. I just recently started delegating in the last year, and I've been in it 6-7 years now. 6 years now, six and a half, something like that. I should probably know that. But yes, delegate where you can see fit. I brought on a couple of editors, remote editors. I have an AI assistant. I have an AI editor that's helping me with just tasks that, I might not just have time to get to that day. So delegate where you can. That will help you kind of reclaim back some of your time and shift from a hustler to an operator, right? Build a real business, not a one-man content machine, and start thinking long-term. Build retainer clients, build workflows and systems, and really start thinking, okay, this is a business. How do I scale this to where I know I have 5K, 10K, 20K, 50K a month coming in, and you can gauge for that, and it's not just one-off gigs coming in, one this week and one in 3 weeks from now. Like, you have this money coming in, and that's where the systems come into play. And I talk about all of that stuff inside of my freelancer community. I'll link that in in the show notes of this, so you can go check that out for free and try that out. It's a full community. There's over 300 videographers, photographers, and creatives in there right now who are building sustainable freelance brands, learning how to land more high-paying clients, get consistent gigs, and really scale this thing. So if that's something that interests you, head over to the show notes in the description. Go check that out. I'll have it linked in there. It's really beneficial if you're say you just started and you're in 1 to year 4 or 5. But you can join it at any time. If you're in there, if you're in year 10 right now and you're just like, Rippy, you're doing a lot more than me. I want to learn from you, and I need the sauce. Go in there and join. It's not just for beginners. It's just anyone can benefit from it. Anyone can learn how to scale and learn how to grow. I've just been fortunate enough to have mentors that have shown me the way, and now I've implemented it into my businesses, and I'm scaling them and building them out right here with you guys. And you guys are watching and getting to be a part of it too inside of that community. And you can find that, like I said, in the show notes. But guys, I don't want to make this episode too long today. I just wanted to pop on here and do an episode on the new age rat race, because we end up in it a lot of times, and it's very easy to do as a creative. It's not just as simple as leaving a 9-to-5 or quitting corporate America and going and starting your own hustle, and it just blossoming and turning into a actual business. Making a couple hundred here and there is really good, and you're in a great spot to really ramp it up and turn it up. But having a real legitimate business is having predictability, having sustainability, having consistency with your clients, with your income, and not having to scramble every single month, and not having to run out and find more income every single month. Obviously, you can find more income every single month, and we get into that in more episodes and inside the community, and that's the goal. But you want to have predictable income coming in through systems, through building out leverage and building up rapport in your brand too. So I just wanted to, I had a thought today of I was driving and down here to Nashville, and I was like, man, I was looking at traffic. Honestly, I was stuck in traffic. I was like, I couldn't do this every day. I couldn't do rush hour traffic every single day and commute back and forth to work. Like, I'm just not cut out for that life anymore. And I'm glad I've chose this life of creativity and chasing a passion of mine and turning it into an actual business. But that thought when I was driving made me think, like, man, I couldn't do this. And then it led me down the rabbit hole of, well, gosh, I remember when I first started out, I was pretty much in the new age rat race. I wasn't getting stuck in rush hour traffic as much, but I was, burnt out and hating my job and hating my passion and not having any kind of actual income coming in from it. And, I almost would rather be in the 9-to-5 life at that point. That way I at least have some predictable income and stability coming in, right? And have, solid ground to stand on. But I'm super glad and thankful and grateful that I stuck it out and chose to continue to pursue being a freelancer and chasing this dream. And I'm still chasing it and turning it into it. Like I said, I'm building it right in front of you guys' eyes. You're doing it with me. You're joining. If you're not following on social media already, make sure you go hit the follow button. Follow the podcast. I got a bunch of episodes out already that you can find a ton of value from. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to join the freelancer community and learn how to scale, get more consistent income, more consistent clients, head over to the show notes. You can find the link to join that. It's free to try out. If it's not for you, you can leave anytime. But come in there. It's a big network. I'm always in there networking. You have a full direct access to chat with me in there. And quick episode today. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore. I'm ramping the podcast up. We're trying to put these out weekly. I do a lot of shit, guys. I do a lot of shit. I travel. I'm always on the go. I'm always having new ideas and executing on those ideas, but then that sometimes pulls me away from the podcast. But shoot me a message on Instagram if you're liking the podcast. If I, sometimes getting some gratification from listeners and knowing that there's actually people out there getting value from it. It just motivates you just enough to start posting and uploading more and reaching more of you guys through this vessel of content. Podcasting is just another form of it. I do video content, written content. You can find all of that on my Instagram, TikTok, Threads page. That's my form of written content. But now I'm rambling. I'm rambling. I'm just like you guys. I got a ADHD brain. I've been out here editing all day, shooting some pieces, editing content I shot yesterday for a music artist here in town. And so that's the episode. That's all I wanted to talk about today, the new age rat race. Hopefully you found some value in it and maybe some tips and tricks on kind of how to escape that. Like always, shoot me a DM if you have any questions. Go join the community. I'll see you in there. Thank you for joining in today. I appreciate it, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.